Hey guys, this is Simon with Trade and Perform Coaching. If y'all would take a moment to read this, I'm going to do a trade review for 8/11/2025. Here's the quick legal reminder: past performance is not indicative of future results. The trader assist is for team members only, and yeah, you can lose a lot of money day trading. So have a process and follow that process. All I can tell you over and over and over: follow the process. Okay, so let's jump in real quick. First, let's cover what the trades did that were on the trader assist. So first, just to cover the trades real quick, the trades that it takes are, here I'm going to highlight them real quick. Star down, bar up. This is, let's see, star down, bar up, orange bar up, blue bar up. There are no shorts in this, at least none that we have turned on right now. And the star has to be the very last bar in the cycle in order to be taken in both ES and NQ. So today, first of all, the trader assist for me doesn't turn on till 8:35 a.m. So this would be where I would start trading on ES. You can just see nothing set up here. Just no orange bars, no stars stuffed. So no trade, right? The first trade that it took was right here at 64.0975. Again, this thing's on ES is on a tight leash. We basically just wanted to hit and go. So this entered at 64.0975. It exited the whole trade at 64.10. Next trade was here, the orange bar up that takes that trade, and you can see that we were entered at 6475. And this got, I messed this up. I did not expect it fired on both the 6 and the 8 tick. I did not expect that to happen, so I exited. I ended up with 4 contracts versus 2 contracts on this, and yeah, I just flatted the whole trade. The first scale would have from 64.075 would have been 2 points, so the 64.0275 was correct, and I just flatted the balance. It clearly would have gotten scale 1. Here, I'll show you. It clearly would have gotten scale 1 and scale 2. So scale 1 was 2 points, and that was right there pretty much. A little bit higher, 75. And you can see it extended for a maximum favorable excursion of actually 7.5 points. So the 64.04, so I kind of clipped myself there. I was just surprised to see both take it, and that's okay. And then if you go look at NQ, here's NQ. It was actually down on the day, and there was 2 reasons for that. It was not down very much, but here's the trades. It took trade 1 right here at approximately 8:49, long at 23.729. It exited at 13. It just couldn't get 10 points. It's August. Normally that would be an easy peasy, 10 points, move stop to break even. And it just exited out the trade, and that happens. There is no trap trade on that, so that actually put me on 2 contracts minus 600 on the day. Here's trade number 2. Again, I goofed this trade. I did not let it play out. If you looked at this is 35 to 38. I totally messed this up how it should have been. Right, the execution goes off at 35. Scale 1 should have been at 45. See if I can get this. Scale 1 should have been up here at 45. Wouldn't have made a big giant difference, but instead of, and then the stop would have gone to break even right there. So instead of getting $200 on 1 contract, I got $100 on 2 contracts, which is fine. I still picked up the $200. It worked out. Excuse me, not even that. It was 38, 38, and 35. So I just flatted out the trade for 3 points. I goofed that. I should have had 10 points on one contract, which would have been $200, and flatted the second. That would have put me down 400 on the day. As it was, I was down about 500 on the day at that point. No other trades fired. None of these trades are in the algo right now. And then we rolled down. The very next trade was right here, this orange bar up, and exited. You can see the entrance to 63, 73.50. Let's see if I would have gotten the 25 points was the next trade. Again, I flatted that. And the reason I flatted it is I did not like breaking down that late in the day. So I get a B minus, maybe a C minus on proper execution. Here's exit number 1, which is 10 points. And I would have needed, let's see, 63, 73, 83, 88. Let's see if I would have gotten it. 63, 73, 83, plus another 5, 88. So again, I screwed up my trade right there because clearly, so if you look at the difference in P&L, this trade, I remember what happened. So what happened was I ended up with 4 contracts instead of 2 contracts on ES because both filled at the same time. So I just flatted out of everything, right? So when I flatted everything, that took me positive on the day, $200, which is fine. I mean, the day was nothing to really brag about. But if I'd done this properly, right, and I'll show you the trade. First of all, it would have gone one contract for 73 and the other one for 25. So that would have added another $300 on my P&L, right? And had I done it properly over here, I would have added, meaning I left my trailer on both of these, I would have added another, while I exit this, 02, and I would have added on 2 more. So what I should have done is scaled 2 right like it did, but then I should have left the other 2 for 4 points, which it would have had. And that would have changed my P&L by 1.75. Let's round up to 2. On 2 contracts, that would have added another 200. So that's another $500 in P&L. So pretty dramatic difference in outcome on the day. Instead of being up, after commissions, I was up $142.94. I should have been up $642.24. Big difference. And, 300, 500, yeah. 642.24. And then the last trade that didn't fire, by the way, I want to show you, this was on NQ. It did not fire. Guys, if you're going back and looking at your trader, I'll show you where. Early in the morning, right before 9 o'clock. It was on NQ. Let's see if I can find it. Green bar up, 9 a.m. Let's go back a little bit. Right about here. This bar did not fire, and that would have made a huge difference on our P&L on the day because I have it set to shut off at 8:55 and it fired at 8:55.17, and that's all right. There's more stops than not stops in that time frame, so I don't mind shutting it off. But it did it would have fired. I don't want to curve fit it. I'll just keep track of how many times it fires, and it would have been profitable versus unprofitable. But the important message here, right, is this star trap right here from a scalping perspective works very well. Like if you look overnight, because we take the 10 and move the stop to break even, this is profitable. This is profitable. Believe it or not, this is profitable. This is, we reset our charts at 7 a.m. It really shouldn't have fired there. This was clearly profitable, and this is clearly profitable. But really the whole day worked nicely. If we could get just a little bit more price action, this thing would just come alive. So that's the first part. Now I just want to go to the levels, right? So let's cover NQ first. One of the things that you'll notice on NQ that was very, very interesting, and one of the tells was that, here, let's just spread this out a little bit. So the first thing you'll notice when you scoot over, see how both ES and NQ, these blue lines are our upside targets. They're just prior day's highs, prior day's Globex highs that haven't been tested. And we took them both out. And you'll see we took out ES with a blue bar, right? That's the strongest bar that we have in terms of volume. And we took out the NQ on the 24 tick with an orange bar. And when it closed back in underneath here, it was over, right? You can just see the trap. And this is just really felt like someone was short covering and they had to get out of the trade, and they did. And when they were done, they were done. And you can see we just rolled straight down. Now, if you go at this from a logical standpoint, right? So remember, this was our 50-60 from Friday's low to today's high, which was approximately right here when I drew it out, right? So here, let me do this chart. Tools. Crosshair tools. So if you look from last night, we gapped up, or we opened up, we couldn't press down into support around 2 in the morning in London. We come right into the 64.10 support, rotate back in just after the open, 64.10, 64.10. We test one more time, 64.10. This is the fuel, right? That sideways consolidation, trap back in, backside test, and that's when this guy, whoever, guy, gal, fund, whatever, decided they were sunk. They squeezed all the way up, and then they had to come all the way out, and that was that, right? And then in addition, right, you would have expected, 64.10 has to go, right? So you can clearly see, guys, see that blue bar? As you know, that's a super strong bar, that's a super strong bar. When you get underneath those blue bars, like that bar should have trapped, like that was an attempted trap off to the left. And you can see once you get a point of control underneath that bar, right here on a negative bar, they couldn't get, this guy was totally trapped, and that started the rollover. You can see now that you're under the 200, see once all 3 channels cross underneath that 200. If you're in my room, this makes a lot of sense to you. If you're not, it doesn't. But you can see these guys are trapped when 3 of those 4 channels get underneath. I wrote, if you look up here, I wrote, let's see if let's see if I have that outside the algo, do nothing. Let's see. I guess I didn't write that. Oh, here you go. So this is when I write. Look, underneath here, 3 of the 4 channels are now below the 200, right? I put that up at 1:52 p.m. That puts you right here. Maybe it was NQ, but it was approximately right here. Here's 1:52 p.m., right? And what I said to the room was, when you get 3 of 4 channels or below, hard to be bearish because we're at all-time highs, but bad things tend to happen when to longs when and stops to the long side come in this condition. Sorry, I didn't type very well. Yes, it's still neutral. You would think 64.10 needs to be the trap, right? So at this point, I'm saying, look, we got to get above 64.10 at this point to go higher. No cigar. We rolled down and we came down to the 63.87.75, almost to the tick, and we responded back up to these more minor support resistance zones. So tonight my guess is we're going to come in and backside test 64.10 and trap, or fail, or we come down, break the 87, and the more natural deal would be to test this 79 to 68 overnight. And then Q, right? So you can see NQ couldn't get down to its support this morning, right? You can see here we impulse move, we go supernova. It was a frustrating day. That blue bar, remember when I said when you lose those blue bars and you recapture them, that they tend to act as support. I mentioned that if you go look at this morning's market preview, and you can see here that once we get above, see how we backside tested, blue bar up above. So this buyer tried really hard, failed, but once we get above them, it's off to the races. And that took out the high. We never could test this 2365, 23668, right? We take out I believe that was Globex high, came in, orange bar right on top, all those diamonds. So normally you'd say, oh, that's bullish, but it's so late. And see all these diamonds that formed when we came down. And if you'll go back and look, you'll see that normally we don't get any diamonds down as soon as we get these diamonds up. And luckily you can just see we didn't get any signals. I mean, the white bar, but we're really looking for star down or orange bar up over here. And the tell was actually when we came in here, and he tried to save it with that green square, yellow dot, white bar. He couldn't get anything done. And then you can see when we take out the low over there, they come back, backside test the blue bar again. This time they can't trap them, and down they roll. They couldn't make it to 23, 5, 40, 75, but my guess is that's where we're headed. And the reason we paused here is because we're between the 382 and the 50 retrace of, let me see if I can get this. We're between the 382 and the 50 retrace from Friday's low to what was today's high up here at Globex high of this 2375. It would adjust a little bit up from here, right? So I imagine the 5060 would be retested, and my guess is tonight we're either coming up to test this 68 to 05 or down for this 40 down to 02 would be our next target. It did look weak, but the volume was very, very soft. So I think it was a good first day. The curse of the first day when you launch and introduce a new algo into the room or new algo process is usually ends down negative. This one ended positive, so I'm very, very happy about that. And if I just would have gone in and taken care of this properly and not interfered with it, there'll be a lot of journaling tonight. Instead of up 147.25 per account, which there's nothing wrong with, it would have ended up about $500, $600 per account. So I've got room to improve. That's good news. Okay, guys, I hope that helps. Hopefully we open up this week. We have a lot of stuff coming down the pipeline. And remember, Mondays and Fridays are the slowest days of the week. And we'll go from there. Have a great night. Oh, if you'd like to get information about the room, you can email me at TRADEnPerform, TRADE, the letter N, PERFORM @gmail.com, and I appreciate y'all listening.